Hello, peculiars. Just a Regency gentleman having my tea and biscuits in England for your benefit. Hello, everybody. Hey, Davey. It's midnight here.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Where are you, Davey?
Well, I theme my Halloween costumes off of one of the books we read each year. So this year, I'm on the top of Mount Everest.
Oh, wow. You've been really busy. Are you dancing?
Dancing, yeah. I'm tap dancing on Everest. What's fun is that the blue in this scarf is picking up with the background. So, hey.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, little honor in honor of Mimi. I am a Mount Everest at the summit of Mount Everest.
I love it. That is pretty great. And I have to say, now it makes sense. I saw Davey in his previous setup, and it looked like he was in a tent. I was trying to figure out what was going on.
A little homemade blue screen. You got to get creative with Halloween.
Very cool. Very cool. Yes, and I actually did wear this, folks, at one of my book launches. I was trying to give you more of it, but it's got like check this out, huh? I got like little cuffs and everything, and my little.
We were debating whether she looked like a founding father or looked like a pirate before the episode started. All right, we are already getting comments flying in here. Lorelai says, "Looking fab." Leanne says at 3 a.m.
3 a.m. No, at what time is it here? It's midnight here. Are you actually doing those comments with your gloves on? Because that's very impressive.
No, I couldn't. Yeah, I had. I'm gonna get frostbite. So. What else? Birthday wishes. That's right. Birthday outfit is hella cute.
Thank you. It is officially my birthday in England because I'm living in the future here. So it is technically October 24th for me. So it is definitely my birthday now.
Leanne said, "What are the buttons like?"
Oh, they're not as exciting. They're kind of just little. I'm pretty sure somebody made this. I found it in a secondhand shop. So they're kind of got little. They're meant to look like jewels, I think, but they're black. Like they look like obsidian, but it's just plastic. Not very exciting.
All right, so I will throw all your birthday comments in here. But while we do that, are you someone that like has to go big for their birthday? Are you someone that's like, no, don't make a big deal about it. Don't talk about it.
You know what?
You do birthdays.
I'm the kind of person who decides I need to buy myself treats for my birthday. So this year I've been, as I'm 48 now, I've been looking at skincare products. Like, what fancy skincare products can I buy myself? And normally I do like to do things for my birthday, but I'm mostly going to spend it on a train tomorrow. I'm going cross country down the west coast of Scotland and England back to London. So
there you go. Hey, a train is a nice way to spend your birthday. No complaints there.
I did also spring for first class. So
there you go.
Fancy.
Mindy asked, "Is that a jabot? It's so frilly."
I'm not sure. I wonder if I could do the gavat.
I of course immediately went to the Seinfeld episode. I don't want to be a pirate. Okay, well we're not technically here to talk about Mount Everest and frilly shirts. We are here to talk about your book.
Yes, I'm very excited. I brought a biscuit. It's not a Jammy Dodger. Those are no more.
You'll have to go through the snack aisle and update for the next book.
Right, I know.
Let's see. I had your book pulled up here. There it is. I noticed your website still says soon to be released. So you might want to update that.
Yeah, sorry.
There it is. The Dead Come to Stay. So we promise you we're gonna try to stay as spoiler free as we can, but we are gonna we'll get into some details.
I'm assuming. Yeah. I think a lot of you have read it because I've seen some reviews and things up there. So very exciting. I was unable to make the cocktail obviously because I'm not home. But in honor of whiskey, I did have a whiskey sour while I was out at dinner earlier this evening. So
Gotcha. Let's see. What do we have here? Kathleen is at rehearsal, but wanted to say hi and happy birthday. Also, I hope people tried and like the cocktail. Pack plenty of tasty treats for the train ride. Makes the journey go smooth.
It certainly does.
And, we always enjoy a superior mystery. Lorelai said, "Love the book, so good." And Amanda Johnson said, "I finished it last night." Yeah, I finished it today too, Amanda.
Which you did too, didn't you?
Yeah. So I'm with you, Amanda. It's all fresh in my mind. That's why I do it this way. I don't procrastinate. That's not why.
Right. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I totally get that.
All right. Ryan said a chickpea in my cocktail. All right. So do we want to just jump into the announcements, or do we want to get into the book first?
Let's go ahead and we'll do the announcements, and then
that
way, because I think this is going to be a train rolling out of control once we get going here.
Yeah. All right. So all the places you can find us, all the social medias. Obviously, the Facebook group is a fantastic group and a great way to keep the conversation going. Vote on the the cocktail name, but you can also find us on Blue Sky and some of the other social media sites. For the newsletter, make sure you're subscribing to the newsletter, because not only do you get updates on the show, not only do you get the links to the show, but you also get fun stories from Brandy and fun thoughts from Brandy. And who doesn't need a little extra fun thought from Brandy in their life?
I'm glad that you said that, because they're like, who doesn't need a little extra Brandy in your life? And everyone's like, I've just run out. I'll go buy some.
All right. We have a new way to be a VIP, and it's going to be very important coming up for season 7 coming up next year.
Isn't that crazy?
But we're now over on PayHip. So for as little as $5, you can become a VIP, get all the VIP shows, go backstage with the authors, get cool swag, extra content, recommended books. There's so much fun stuff about being a VIP. And those VIP shows, to be in them live, is a lot of fun.
And not only that, this coming year, our VIP shows are going to be a little bit more like hangouts, which I think is something a lot of people have asked for. So it's going to be a little bit more interactive and cool. We'll do cool shit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now the moment you've been waiting for, the winning by a wide margin. We had a lot of votes on this one. The Facebook
we did. Like active. 50 people.
Yeah, in the polls. The Dead Come to Drink.
I love the color.
Yeah, I like the blood orange, of course. Of course, makes sense. Perfect. Yeah. So this was cool. A good one.
And whiskey, because Joe and MacAdams. I did introduce a new whiskey for the second book, and if I get to keep going, I'll keep that up too. We'll have treats, we'll have whiskeys.
Nice. All right. And then finally, what is Aquafaba?
Yes, I was wondering what that is too. Kat, she's at rehearsal. We might have to look that up later.
Yeah, we can Google it. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, it can't be too hard. Although, I don't have my winter gloves on and I still can't type. Viscous water in which legume seeds such as chickpeas have been cooked.
Oh yes, that's right. That's why it's a chick peed in my drink. I get it. Ryan, yeah. I'm a little late to the game, but it is midnight here.
There we go. It's the goo in the chickpea can.
I love it.
All right. And finally, an update on the Peculiar Movie Club. We did get 2 of our movies for the summer knocked out. I finished the movie of Vigilante. It's a very powerful movie. And I finished Repo Man, which is a very silly, dumb action movie. But I told you we were going to do a spooky movie, and you made a lot of great suggestions. The one that I was kind of leaning towards first, Darren's like, I watched that movie a ton. So I always like to do something that's fresh for us. I feel like it gives us an interesting perspective. So neither of us have seen an American Werewolf in London. And so I figured a classic, and if you think about it, an American in England, it kind of loose. That's about as much of a parallel as we're going to get to Brandy's book.
I'll take it. That's pretty great.
Unless Joe Jonas turns into a werewolf in this book.
Maybe I turn into a werewolf, a Regency werewolf. Just saying.
So that's going to be our spooky movie for October. We're going to do an American Werewolf in London, and we're definitely going to try to get this out before Halloween. We can do it.
We can do it.
That's Mindy says, that's so good. The porno theater scene is killer. I'm already excited. I don't even know what you're talking about. It sounds fun. So that will be our October movie. And I'm still going to try to get to you. If Darren has a chance, we'll do it together. If not, I will try to do a solo episode for A Vigilante and Repo Man, just so we can, complete the summer movies that we promised you. Yeah. All right. So The Dead Come to Stay.
All right. I'm excited.
What's it like writing a sequel?
So okay, two things about that. One is that, wow, I just realized that there's like oh, look at that. Sorry. New discoveries. I could have a tattoo there and be like, curtains. So on one hand, it was easier, right? Because I know the characters and I knew the scene and the setting and the town really well. And so in that sense, it wrote much faster. I wrote it faster. I think I'm gonna have to watch the echoing. I gotta quit moving around so much. The downside is you have to make it just as good as the first one, and you also have to come up with something that still works in the same setting. So that was harder.
Yeah, you kind of don't want to repeat yourself, but you also don't want to lose the formula.
Yeah. And the other hilarious thing is, after I wrote it, my publisher decided to make a change and said, could you just alter this? And it was massive. So you know how it's about antiques trading on the black market? That wasn't originally the thing.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah. I can talk
more
more about that if you want to hear more about that.
Yeah, sure. I'm curious. The Peculiar's curious what the original thing was.
So I had originally had it drug trafficking, because there's a particular kind of drug that comes out that has been trafficked through Syria. And so that was why it was connected and everything. And I had written the entire novel like that. And then we ultimately changed it because they didn't want it to seem too heavy. So they were like, well, we need to make it something else. And they made a suggestion, which was like, not good. And so I came up with this instead. And it ended up being much better because it was about art anyhow. So it actually worked out a lot better. But they were like, can you do like a complete rewrite of this? And can we have it in like 3 weeks? And I did. So
there you go. It is possible. Replace all drugs to statues.
Yeah, it was a little bit more than that, but yes.
These kids are smoking those statues. If it was drugs originally, did that sideline Gwillem a little bit?
It did too. So actually, Gwillem was able to come back in. I mean, it's one of those things where it was a change that worked so much better. And this has happened to me before in other books that I've worked on, where you make a change, you're like, this is going to be impossible. And then you're like, actually, no, it all works a lot better now. So it was much, much smarter to go this route. It just wasn't what I originally thought I was going to do.
All right. So Anya says, I actually like the sequel even better than the original. I felt like there was more character development, backstory, and I also really liked the new characters.
Yes. And you're right. And that was the other cool thing about writing a sequel. Even though it's supposed to work like a standalone, and it has been written that way so that you don't necessarily have to have the first one first, though it's better if you do. The characters, so I picked several to like read. I went deeper for did I mention it's very late here? Sorry. Each of the characters had a little bit more backstory than before. It was where I was going with that.
Gotcha.
Tula especially, but each of them. And MacAdams is obviously changing as a person, and Jo is, learning how to trust herself more. And she's obviously in it a lot more. I mean, she's sorry, not in it more, but like she's very active in this one.
She is. She's a lot of moving around and finds herself in both sides of the story, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth, well, I got more questions about that, but Elizabeth says, what type of research did you have to do as it's for a fiction book?
So all of the information about art, that's all real. The artist is real. His crazy lifestyle that weirdly mirrored the characters is real. And I didn't know that. What's that?
An Augustus John.
Augustus John. But I didn't know that his life was going to mimic the earlier Evelyn's family. I didn't know that until I started doing this research. I had picked him kind of at random, and then he was perfect. So I went to London, and I went to the portrait gallery, so I went to these museums so that I could describe them well, and so that I went and saw Augustus John paintings and got much more familiar with his technique, and did a bunch of work on his life. And so that was the main amount of research. That, and I had to find out exactly how trafficking artifacts works, and I had to figure that out in 3 weeks. So that took a little bit of time too.
Oh, Elizabeth also says she got to see you at the Waterstone event last week. She said
yes, it was crazy. She's like, I'm here, and I'm like, you're here. Why are you here? You're here. That was super fun.
Kristen asks, in the first book, we got some found family, and then even more in this book. Is Joe's found family going to keep growing?
Well, obviously some of this depends on whether or not the publisher allows me to write book 3, but I have book 3's treatment done. So it's not it's kind of like a complex proposal with outline. And in book 3, yes, but in an interesting way.
Okay.
Book 3 would be a Christmas mystery if they let me do it.
This was a summer mystery, right?
Right.
Summer, yeah. Because MacAdams shows up in short sleeves. My gosh.
I know. It's very discombobulating for Joe.
Christmas, I like it. Christmas in the UK, just something about it just works.
In fact, I was going to do it part of if they let me do this, part of it takes place in Booksellers Alley in London. And so I always try to add a new city in too. So more York, more Newcastle. And this one would have some London in it as well. It even has a title, which would be A Ghost at the Feast, if they let me do it. So
A Ghost at the Feast. Okay.
Which has 2 meanings, just like always.
Kristen says, we definitely did Christmas mystery. Yeah. I thought you were going to do Joe and MacAdams in space, but maybe that's like for book 7, 8, or 9.
We got a little ways to go there. Yeah, like pigs in space.
So I do have to ask you about MacAdams.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be honest, my review of the book, I kind of feel like this book was more of a MacAdams book than it was a Joe Jonas book.
That is kind of a little bit true. And it took me a while to slide that one past my publisher. They didn't immediately love that. But what I realized is that if you want, one of the reasons that I wrote the story with 2 protagonists is that I wanted to have that police procedural. I wanted to be able to go deeper with the story and get a little bit more teeth into it. And that can only be done if you have a police officer character who actually is on that side of things. And because this mystery ended up being really complex and twisty, and there's 2 different crimes kind of happening simultaneously, it necessarily meant I had to spend more time with the police themselves. And you even get part of a chapter that is actually from Green's perspective. So there's technically 3 POVs in this book. And that was necessary, but it also meant I could give you more of his character development, because I actually have 2 more books planned if they let me do them. One is a Christmas mystery, and one is a mystery that takes place in Scotland, which is where his family's from. And so they were going to be, book 3 was going to be more Joe, and then book 4. So they were going to kind of offset each other, and that's the plan anyway. And so each one kind of tilts in a certain direction. So,
well, I think, in my opinion, I think Joe and MacAdams are heading towards a crash. Their lives are crashing together anyway. So I don't know if there's anybody on Team Gwillem out there, but.
Oh, I know. Don't you love Gwillem, though? I really like him so much. He's one of my favorite characters.
That's what I hear. Peculiars, put in the chat. Are you Team Gwillem or Team MacAdams? There could be new love interests. We never know. Nothing's settled yet. Joe could have a love interest.
And there are new characters, of course. Yeah. Chen Benton Lee is a lovely character. I love her so much. And then also her, her uncle and her uncle's romance and all that kind of stuff is just like, oh.
Right, Arthur. And wait, it was Arthur the uncle or Arthur the?
Arthur's the love, and Aiden was her.
Aiden
uncle.
is the uncle. Right. Yeah. So yeah, we do. Yeah, the Chen's a unique.
She's awesome. She's easily as captivating as Tula, I think.
Yes. Okay, here's what they're saying. They finally got their answers in. Amanda says Gwillem is fantastic, but it's clear Joe's going to recover McAdams. Chris says, I think I'm Team McAdams too. McAdams, but love Gwillem. Well, I was Team G, but I do like McAdams too. Oh, Jennifer. I feel like we made Jennifer the odd one out now. Jackie's on your side.
Jackie's on your side. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad there's people on both sides. For a good love triangle, you need fans on both sides.
You do, and they're both actually like it's not a blowout competition either, because Gwillem is amazing. I mean, Gwillem has been such a support, especially as another neurodivergent character in the story. He kind of helps Jo come to herself in the first book, even, and then of course with all the research and everything in this one. And so he's not a throwaway. You know what I mean? Like he's a contender.
All right, Peculiars. You gotta any questions, burning questions?
Please ask questions.
We can get into some spoilers if you really want to, but we'll try to avoid them as long
because
as we can.
This is a really good twist. Did anybody catch it? Did anybody guess the twist? Did anybody guess? I'm really curious because so far nobody has guessed.
Okay. So this is a good question. Was there a reason that you didn't use the word autistic at all in this book?
So hilariously, I didn't realize that I hadn't used it until I listened to the audiobook. Because I think she so firmly is that now in the created world that it didn't occur to me. But also, and this is a point I've made before in different interviews and stuff. One of the coolest things about Jo's autism is that it's not the coolest thing about her. And I often feel that way about myself. Like I am definitely autistic. It definitely informs my worldview in lots of ways. It is really apparent right now while I'm on book tour. Like it's amazing how it just keeps cropping up where I'm like, wow, because I'm sort of under duress, right? To a certain degree. But I think it's an evidence of me growing into her character that it almost became something that became unstated and I didn't notice. So yeah, it wasn't a choice. It just kind of happened that way.
She's just living her life. You do break down. I'm guessing the way she thinks is a lot the way is it a reflection of the way you think?
Often, yes, because while autism there's a lot of autistic people, but we do experience it differently frequently. Some of the things that are usually considered to be the same in group wide is our brains do function differently. So that daisy chain versus hub and spoke kind of thing is common to most people who are neurodivergent. And I wanted to get in here, talk about memory and emotional static and things like that. Those are all things that are a part of my world and also of the larger world of people who are autistic. Then the stuff about eidetic memory that's me. I have an eidetic memory. Temple Grandin has an eidetic memory. It's not unique to people with autism, nor does everybody who's autistic have it, but there's a lot of crossover. So I also wanted to get into that. And I spent a lot of time in the book talking about photographic memory as what that means and what it isn't. And I hope people enjoy that because that's one of my own little special interests.
I did. It was interesting for sure. I don't think I think like that. I think I'm probably pretty straightforward in my memory. I can remember the entire, stand-up comedy routine from a comedian in 1995, but I can't remember when Maggie tells me to stop at CVS.
Well, no, I get that though. Do you know? So and this would be a great question for the Peculiars, actually. I think all of us have like a weird memory blindness. There's like a memory hole. Everybody's got one. For me, I struggle with names. I struggle to remember the names I myself have come up with for characters. Like I'm like memory blind or name blind. But yet I remember situations, dialogue, all the other stuff that goes in with it. I think everybody has one. So it'd be interesting to see what people's memory holes are out there.
I think we need everybody's spouse to tell us what their memory holes are. I think Mark could probably tell us a lot of your memory holes better than you can.
This is probably true.
Yeah.
This is probably true. Like laundry. Laundry doesn't exist in my world. I guess. So if you tell me to do laundry, I just hear you say, Brandy, you need to, and that's it. That's doesn't happen. Doesn't connect.
All right. So Amanda Johnson asks, did someone inspire Chen?
So, okay. There, secrets out. I turned in my thriller earlier this week, and my agent now has it out with 6 publishers who are reading it. And I also have a trans character in that book as well. Neither of them are based, neither Chen Benton Lee or the one in that book are based on a specific person, but they are based on, they're kind of conglomerate characters, people that I know, and the sort of vivacious personalities that I have encountered, particularly in writing The Intermediaries, which is what I'm on tour with right now. And it has been amazing to me the way the trans community can, like, these people are organized. I mean, they get shit done. Like, it's amazing what they can get done when you're like, hey, I'm going to come to your town for this book tour. And they're like, we will bring the people, and they will, you know. So I wanted to reflect some of that, some of these wonderful people that I've met. So Chen is not based on a specific person, but she's based on a couple of different people. And I chose to make her someone, okay, this is basically a little bit of a screw you J.K. Rowling kind of thing. J.K. Rowling, when she wrote, you know, she's a TERF and a transphobe and all these things. But when she wrote her book, she got into a lot of trouble for making the one Asian character, like, she didn't do any research into what names would be like. She basically gives her 2 last names and that are, anyway, it wasn't good. And so I thought, I'm going to make my transgender character that I introduce in this book also be somebody who is Asian, but I'm actually going to do the work and look it up and create this backstory and this back history and everything. And so that's some of it too. Some of it's in there.
Okay, we have a good question coming up from Leanne. I just started. Is it, as an author, like, were you worried that Chen would have too many answers? Like, she advises Joe on a lot of things, or are there just those people in your life that you're like, darn it, they always have the answer. Like, they always know exactly where to point me and what direction to point me, or they see the deeper meaning in art that I never see, you know, stuff like that.
I wanted her to be a sage-like character, and she's also a bit of a she's like the Bizarro World version of Roberta Wilkinson, who also has all kinds of information, but is like prickly as hell. So I wanted to kind of create a counterpoint to that, where this is the person who guides the information in this, you know, is the sage in this book. But goes down a little easier. And the Arthur and Egil picture, that's an actual painting that I've seen. So I wanted you to read this book and get a whole bunch of art history along the way. And so I chose to, and I am not somebody who is very good with modern art. So I thought it would be really fun to create a character who was well versed in the kinds of art that I do. I love, you know, the kind of the big romantic paintings, who is well versed in that kind of stuff, but nonetheless created paintings that were nothing like it, but still had the same sort of resonance. And then having Joe stumble her way through trying to analyze it was a lot of fun too.
All right, it was a good relationship between the two of them, a good match.
And that's a real restaurant outside the York Minster that actually does have opera cake, by the way. Like, I've been there.
Okay, so just getting back to the memory conversation for a little bit, because they did go on a tangent on us here. So Amanda says, pre-menopause has my memory so whacked out, I don't know what my memory hole is. Kristen said, same, the memory has just become a hole at this point. Lorelai says, if I meet people briefly, I absolutely forget that we have met, which is not great for people you meet multiple times.
Oops.
Mine's their names. Like, as soon as you introduce yourself, I'm like, oh, you got to hang on to that name. Oh, no, don't lose that name. Especially because I work at a huge college campus with thousands of people that I see.
Well, but don't you think if people had names, like, you know, I really appreciate native names. I like it when names have like, if your name is Kicking Bird, I'm not going to forget that, right? But yeah, my name's Brandy. It's alcohol. I do tell people that when I give them my name because I know that will stick. So yeah. But like John, I'm never going to remember John. Unless I think
maybe that's what we need to start doing. Like introduce yourself like, "Hi, I'm John," like the toilet. And then everyone will remember, it'll just stick. Like I could just, I do Davy Crockett or Davy Jones all the time.
That helps.
Yeah. All right. There was another one. Lorelai said, definitely reintroduce myself to coworkers from other sites that I have met before. And then Sadie said, I thought my peri-brain fog was long COVID, but estrogen has been a game changer. Also,
alas, I will never be allowed to have estrogen again.
Ryan had a simple question for you. He said, Scotland versus Wales.
Well, this is an unfair question for me to answer because I have actually never been to Wales. That's the one place. I got all of my information about Wales from a friend who lives in Swansea. And I've never been there. I've always wanted to go, but somehow like my trips never, I've been to Cornwall, but I've still not been to Wales. I love Scotland, but I feel like there's a little place in my heart, and I gotta go figure it out. Has anybody else been to Wales? Anybody been to Wales?
Wales fans in the chat. The UK is at first you tend to think of it like, oh, it's like Ohio. There's like 3 big cities you got to hit or something like that, but it's a pretty big country. It is,
but it's also it's the size of Pennsylvania essentially. Like
really turn that way.
If you have to cut off the very top part of Scotland, but like UK proper fits in Pennsylvania, but don't make the mistake of thinking that means you can cross it quickly, because you can't, because they don't understand straight lines. The only straight road in the entire country was built by Romans, and everyone else, like the British, build roads around stones, like their favorite stone. Like, I like that stone, we'll go this way. I mean, it's just all over the place.
You sound like a West Sider in Cleveland talking about driving on the East Side. They hate it. They don't understand what we did over here on the East Side. It's all wagon wheel intersections and chaos here on the East Side. Amanda said Snowdonia is amazing.
Oh, that's the big park. Yeah, in Wales, there's a huge national park called Snowdonia, which I've watched shows about, but I've never actually been to. So Wales is it's on my bucket list, and I feel like I should have done it by now. I've been everywhere else.
All right. Here we go. Anya said, I currently have a PhD student from Wales. I'm hoping to wangle an invitation to visit her there next summer. All right.
Wangle. I like that. Wangling for Wales.
All right. We are at the halfway point, and I've got a good question from Leanne to kick off the second half. So how about we have a little bit of music from Cord Ravenswood?
Oh, the rain is fading. The gardens are open, they're finally free. Oh, Uncle Aiden was so much more than we knew him to be. Fiddle hey hey, when the dead come to stay, they may depart in a moonbeam. Fiddle dee dee, when the dead come for tea, they take it with sugar and cream, like me. Oh, Joe is debating. This town has secrets we don't even see. The eyes in the painting are searching for more than mere antiquities. Fiddle hey hey, when the dead come to stay, they may depart in a moonbeam. Fiddle dee dee, when the dead come for tea, they take it with sugar and cream. Love, the painter says, it's messy, so damn messy. Oh, love, triangles, nesting dolls, in hiding in plain sight, a refugee in flight, across generations and visiting in the night. Well, fiddle hey hey, when the dead come to stay, they may depart in a moonbeam. Fiddle-dee-dee, when the dead come for tea, they take it with sugar and cream. Fiddle hey hey, when the dead come to stay, they may depart in a moonbeam. They may depart in a moonbeam. They may depart in a moonbeam. They may depart in a moonbeam.
Oh my God, that was so good. I didn't see this one first.
Oh, you didn't watch that one first. Okay.
No, because I'm traveling, so I can't get everything. Oh my goodness.
That was one of Chord's more. That was one of his more thoughtful songs. Like he actually,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I gotta call Nick. I mean Chord.
I mean Chord.
Sadie
said, "What a cute song."
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, shucks, I feel a little verklempt.
Wait a minute, Amanda. Is this? She says, "I've also been to."
Oh, that's the town with the longest name in the world.
Isn't that in New Zealand? I thought it was in New Zealand.
No, it's.
Yeah, for our podcast listeners, we're not going to be able to pronounce it. Oh, wait, was it the tall? It was the name of the. It was the longest name of like a mountain or something.
Oh,
that's. It came up in one of our quizzes. I think it was in New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the longest name of a town. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, Amanda says no. It's in Wales.
It's in Wales. And they did it on purpose. I forget. They actually changed the name of the town to this at some point in like a long time ago, but I forget what the reason was now. I'd have to look it up.
I had to ditch the winter coat. I was dying. I was cooking down here, but I still feel like I'm honoring the Everest climbers that at base camp, right? They strip down.
That's right.
Base camp. Okay, so the question that I teed up for Leanne was, were there any Americanisms that were pointed out in the book relating to dialogue or customs?
So yes. Now I'm having to remember which one was in which book. I know in the first book I have her thing about bacon and beans for breakfast. In this one, there were. I'm like struggling to remember what they were.
Honestly, I feel like, did you have to do more research about the different cultures between, like learning some of the British slang and
yes. Well, of course, I've been over here enough that I know quite a bit of it. But for instance, like the stop police, that's actually like from like American cop movies. So that's one of the Americanisms where like she does the whole like stop police. that's she's definitely like Columboing it, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I had to do quite a bit of research into things like the specifics of Geordie versus Cockney. And for me, because I've made it such a big deal for MacAdams, MacAdams is so aware of accents because, trust me, they are over here. They will know like what borough you are from. No, it's not just where you live. They'll be like, and you live on the left street of the bank by the train station. So there's that. And I had to, it also helps you solve the mystery in some way. Like some of the voices and words that people say should pick up as things go, based on how they talk. And MacAdams is sort of pretty good on the uptake there, figuring out who's who and who might be pretending to be someone.
Torches instead of flashlights.
Oh yeah, torches instead of flashlights. Yeah, that was another one.
Calling it the water closet, and that.
Yeah. And she, like, Joe doesn't do that. So Joe will say words that don't match up with what other people are saying. But I've also tried to be realistic. Like, she's been there a while now, so she's also kind of like, she's picking up on some things that aren't as weird for her anymore.
Someone, Kristen did ask, what is up with British bacon?
Oh man. Okay. So they call it bacon, and it is bacon, but it's not what we call bacon. So it comes from a different part of the pig. So when we have bacon, it's sort of part of the side of the pig. And if you've ever seen a bacon slab, it literally is like this slab that goes, they use back meat. So it's actually back bacon, and it's kind of like ham, but it's wiggly, like it's squiggly. It doesn't get crispy. You know how, like, I think of bacon as being something that is crispy, and it's not. So it's wiggly, which always just kind of weirds me out. And it tastes a bit more like ham. Sometimes it's smoked and sometimes it's not. So sometimes it's like salty without being smoked, which is a strange, like, it doesn't, I sort of associate ham and bacon with being smoked. Oh yeah, and there's a lot more fat on it. It's very fatty and chewy, and that's partly why it's wiggly. I'm not a fan, actually, but Gwilym is.
Oh, Amanda told us, I was reading her comment, like I was trying to figure out what she was saying. She's telling us what that town name means. Apparently it means St. Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel near the rapid whirlpool, and the Church of St. Tysilio of the Red Cave, and was done for promotional purposes in 1860.
In 1860, yeah. So I knew that they had changed it, and it was very, very specifically to be a really long name.
Okay. So we got time for more questions. It's not quite quiz time yet, but oh boy,
Okay.
do I have a good one.
Oh dear. I'm surprised nobody has asked about the writing of it in terms of the mystery. And I realize maybe that's because people are afraid of avoiding spoilers. So maybe we can take a little bit of time here, and if you haven't finished it, you could,
Yeah, we've got 15 or 20 minutes left. So let's just say from here on out, spoilers are in effect.
Yeah.
So, podcast listeners, it's easy for you to pause and come back to it. Oh, Leanne said no spoilers.
No spoiler.
I think we could do this without spoilers. Okay. Here's what I'll ask you. So you obviously have to, in the last book, I think you said you didn't know who the murderer was as you were writing it, and you had to figure that out.
Yeah.
Let us know the writing process this time. Did you know who the murderer was? Did you know the twist from the jumping off point? And it's like, okay, I know that destination's all the way down there. How am I going to weave an intricate road, a twisty British road to get there?
Right. I think Amanda just asked the same question. That's really funny. Okay.
Yeah, Amanda did. Yeah,
she did. Yeah. Okay. So yes, this time I got smart, because it turns out it's a lot easier to write a mystery novel if you know the ending. So this time I thought, okay, I've got to come up with how this ends, and I need to know who the murderer is right at the beginning so that I can write a really good twist. Now, the fun story about this is Mark helped me, Lady Paws helped me come up with this. We were on holiday in Chamonix, France, in the mountains, kind of like Davy is right now. And we were at this restaurant. We were sitting upstairs having dinner. And I said, okay, Mark, I need a new mystery. I want it to have to do with who's staying at Joe's cottage. And I need to, figure that out. So originally I had a totally different idea. Had thought it was going to be, I thought it was a woman was going to stay at the cottage. It was a very different story. And we just got to talking about it. And we're talking about it. And then Mark didn't come up with the twist, but he said something. He was like, well, what if something like this happened? And it just was like a lightning strike. And I thought, oh, no, I know what I'm going to do. So at that point, I knew the ending and I knew the beginning. But that's a little bit like building a bridge from both sides of a river and hoping they meet in the middle. And, I just accomplished that feat, but then I found out I had to rearrange the other part of the mystery. So it worked out, but I definitely knew the ending. And as a result, I ended up writing this mystery twice as fast as the first novel that I wrote. Actually, maybe 3 times as fast. I wrote it in about 8 months.
Okay. Do you map all that out then, or so you know the beginning, you know the end, you've got your blocks in place here at the beginning and the end of the bridge. Do you then just be like, all right, chapter 1 and dive in? Or do you okay, I have to map out where MacAdams and Joe go and get these two things to line up?
Okay, so I love this because I have a process that works really well for me, but I've never heard anyone else use. So I don't know if it's autism or if it's just Brandyism. I can't do outlines. I've never been able to outline. I struggle with lists in general. Like if I try to follow a freaking recipe, somehow I go like 1, 2, 7, 5, 9. I don't know why it doesn't go well. So so that doesn't work for me. So what I do instead, because I'm a very narrative thinker and I'm a storyteller, is every evening I sit down with pen and paper and I tell myself the story of what's going to happen next. So it's not the same thing as writing. It's like, okay, Brandy, tomorrow Joe's going to get up and she's going to do this. And then, oh, she's got to go to the fair and there's going to be sausage rolls and and it just kind of tell myself what's going to happen. Then the next day I look at what I've told myself the story is and I build the flesh around that. And I do this in pieces. Then when I get a little closer to the end, I'll do something called signposting where I'll do like a written doing the same thing, but for the whole book. So I'll be like, okay, after this, then this, then this, then this, and this. But it's not an outline proper. And I find that just works way better for me. I can actually really do it well.
Okay. The Brandy method. There you go. I kind of like that. Telling yourself the story of what's coming the next day. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'm my own beta reader.
All right, so Kristen has a fun question. So we've been talking a lot about the murder mystery of it all, but there is way more to this series.
That's true.
There's the mystery of Evelyn and the painting and Joe's family. So Kristen asks, how about Joe's family mystery? Was that mapped? Did you know when you were writing the first book where you wanted the family story to go? Again, without spoilers, we learn a lot more about Uncle Aiden, and what he had been up to in the last years of his life, and actually his whole life. We learn about his childhood too.
Yeah.
So, how much did you know when you were writing that first book?
So the only thing I knew is that I wanted Aiden to be more of a character. That I knew I wanted to have happen, and that's why I thought, okay, well, I kind of introduced that he may have had something to do with the painting being refurbished, being fixed. But I hadn't decided exactly how the original drama of Evelyn's life goes down. Sometimes I sort of waffled between a couple of possibilities. And then I landed on something that I think is quite affecting and talks a lot about this. They've already, both of the novels are very much about the lives of women, right? Women and their daughters, women and their sisters, women and their friends. And Joe has a very complicated relationship with her own mother. And there's another mother in this story. Actually, two. There's two mothers who secretly sort of turn up in this book. And it is really about how those interactions happen. And I wanted to show sort of a wide spectrum of the way we as women can be in the world and how we can interact and what those relationships can look like and how patriarchy is often at the root of making them go wrong. So some of that I did know in advance, but most of it was new. And Arthur as a character in relationship to Aiden just appeared. Like I just sat down, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then there was this Arthur guy and I'm like, I didn't know he was going to be here. Okay, what's he doing? And then and he just kind of fleshed out without me really, he just turned up and was like, hi, I'm in this story now.
It adds a fun wrinkle, and I'm excited to see where Joe goes next, because it feels like there's more to unravel still with her family and the estate. And we kind of got away from the estate a little bit in the gardens and all that in this. But yeah, I'm curious to see where Joe goes with that, with discovering more about her family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's another little fun twisty thing that's going to happen if I get to write that third book as regard to that.
I'm also curious if she's going to get her PI license. Like, is she going to realize that editing books is not her calling, and that?
Oh gosh, I don't want to give away too much about the third one that I might not write. But in the third one, she ends up operating on her own quite a bit for some reasons, and that leads to something happening in the fourth book, which might tell her that she's missed her calling. So anyway, that's it's very strange, because I'm like, what if they don't want to publish these? If we don't sell enough of this second book, it's possible the publisher will be like, we don't want any more of these. In which case, like, I don't know, I'll have to, like, this will be part of how you get your VIPs.
Yeah, that'll be the next VIP tier. You get to read the book.
Yeah. So that is part of it. It is a screenplay right now, and so they are shopping that around. I assume if it gets made into a show, they might want more books. We'll find out.
There you go. I feel like you have to get the story out anyway. If you've got those two rattling around in your head, I know you. There's no way you're not going to get those stories out. So
I know, but it's really tough to write a book that you don't have someone pay for.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a few of those already, living in drawers in my house.
All right. Well, we have reached that peculiar moment. It is time for Brandy to take the peculiar quiz. Now, there was so many avenues I could have gone. The fiction book, I feel like fiction books really allow me like a lot of freedom to come up with a crazy quiz, because we could have gone with British food and buddy trucks and so many things. We could have just gone with Newcastle, but I mean, it's a line in the book.
Oh no.
It's barely a part of the book, but there's a line in the book where Jo is navigating around town, and she turns down Dame Judi Dench Way. And I thought, well, that's fun. Somebody named a street after Dame Judi Dench. I wonder what else is actually named after Dame Judi Dench. So the quiz this week is called All Hail the Queen. And it is about things named in honor of Dame Judi Dench. So
oh my gosh.
This is going to be one of those ones that's kind of impossible. I actually wonder if any of our other UK listeners are on right now, because they might be able to help you out.
Kristen's like, oh my goodness. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Remember, part of the quizzes is also fun to learn, right? We're going to learn some fun things.
That's true. It would be really funny if I was like, oh, here are the three. Like that would be awesome. But I do not have that in my repertoire.
All right, so here we go. Developed by British breeder David C.H. Austin in 2009, this flower is named in honor of legendary British actress Dame Judi Dench. It is known for its color and a pleasant light medium tea scent. Is it A, an apricot rose, B, a golden daffodil, or C, a pink foxglove?
I actually think I remember this.
Of course, famous British roses, or famous British flowers, I should say. Yeah.
I kind of remember this being in the news, but I don't remember enough of it.
I feel like this ties in, with the gardens and everything.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Question for book one. Leanne's going C.
Okay.
Lorelei's going A. They're not helping you out too much.
They're not helping out as a B. All right, you know what?
Jackie's A, Ryan's A, Sadie's A, and Jennifer's.
And Cord Ravenswood's lovely wife, who also comes alive in that painting in the song, keeps roses. So I'm gonna feel like that's a sign from the universe. So I'm gonna go with A, the apricot rose.
Like Anya says, oh my god, I had no idea, but I think daffodils have a scent. The answer is yes, an apricot rose. It is officially the Dame Judi Dench rose.
Okay, well, in that case, we have to thank Cord Ravenswood's lovely wife, Chris, for her interest in roses, because that's why I chose it.
All right, an apricot, an interesting color of rose too. And if you knew David C.H. Austin, he's actually a British rose breeder. I edited that out,
Oh,
giveaway. But that was if you knew who David C.H. Austin was, that was a giveaway there. All right, question number 2. Near where Dame Judi Dench grew up, you will find the Judi Dench Theatre, named in her honor by this school. Is it A, the Bishop Burton College, B, the East Riding College, or C, Heimers College?
It's very small on this screen, and I totally thought that was Hyman College, and I was like, what?
They shouldn't name a school that. These are all colleges near York.
Colleges near York. Oh boy. You know who would know this? Lance Parkin. He would know this. All right.
This one's really random, isn't it? Yeah.
East Riding College. Yeah, you guys, I think we're just guessing. Who wants to throw in a guess here?
She didn't they didn't just name it after. We got a couple guesses for B.
B, that sounds good.
B. They didn't just name it after. She showed up at the opening of the theater. So yeah,
wow.
This isn't one of those, we're just going to name it after the person. Like, she was like, cool, a theater, yeah.
All right. Obviously. I bet Bishop Burton didn't even like theater, so we're not going to go with A. I see an awful lot of people saying B. Do I go with B? I think I feel like I need to trust the peculiars here, so I'm going to go with B.
And the answer is Heimers
Oh,
College.
no.
Of course, you
The
can. It's very small,
hymen-
but you
the
can see
hymen
the
got me.
Heimers College crest there on the Judi Dench Theater entrance sign. And this is like your classic. Like, I looked up their website. It is your classic like British prep school. Like, everybody
wow.
in uniforms. It's this like great country estate,
Wow.
brick building. So yeah.
Once again, I should have listened to the universe. I thought it was a part of female anatomy, and that often does show up on this show. I could have just all right.
All right. Question number 3. And if anybody knows York very well, they might have this one. Starting at the Lendal Bridge and ending at the Scarborough Bridge, the quarter mile known as the Dame Judi Dench Walk in York runs along what river? Is it A, the River Foss, B, the River Ouse, or C, the River Trent? Am I saying that right? Ouse or Ouse?
Yes, it's Ouse. And the thing is, I know this river. I have looked at this river, but I sometimes get my rivers confused because Perth also has a river running through it, and so I know the one Stratford upon Avon is pretty easy. That's Avon, but I think it's the River Ouse, but I might be wrong.
All right, I think let's see here. I think Leanne was the first one to get in with an answer. Leanne's going A.
River Foss.
River Foss. I'll wait for a few more peculiars to
So
jump.
I have seen the River Ouse. I just don't remember if the River Ouse that I have seen is the one I've seen in York.
Jennifer's going B. Of course, the photo we used is the photo of her as M in the James Bond franchise. Man, when you read her career, she really she crushed it on the stage, then she crushes it on TV, then she crushes it in movies.
I know. She's so awesome.
Amanda's going B. Kristen's going C. All right. The answer is, and Brandy's final answer was the River Ouse. The answer is, yes, the River Ouse. And you can see it there in the photo right there, the Dame Judi Dench Walk.
And I've walked down Dame Judi Dench Walk along the River Ouse, but I couldn't remember if Ouse was the right river.
So Ouse is the main. It seems like the main one. The River Foss is like a branch of it, and it goes north and seems like its own river. And then the River Ouse continues kind of north.
I stayed. So the first time I stayed in York, and I always stay at the Churchill Arms, which is mentioned in the book. That's where MacAdams had his wedding to his first wife. Yes, that was a very good quiz. Nice job.
Thank you, Lorelai.
So I normally stay at the Churchill Arms, and I thought it was. I'm surprised nobody made a comment about the horrible hotel with the terrible carpet. I'm surprised nobody mentioned that. But yeah, the horrible hotel with the terrible carpet is not in York. That is a real hotel, but it was not in York. I normally stay at the Churchill Arms, and I haven't had them stay there because he's got sort of some bad memories associated with it. Oh, we also get to meet MacAdams' ex-wife's husband, which I thought was kind of fun too.
Armitesh, right?
I told you I'm name blind. I don't know.
Something like that.
It's only my book.
Yes, the classic new husband character.
Yeah,
coming in way over friendly.
Ashok, that's it.
Ashok, there we go.
Yeah, and but also that was part of I like that she always knows MacAdams, and she's like, something's different about you.
Almost a mother character in her own right. An ex-wife is kind of like a mother character sometimes.
Yes, she is. Yeah. Which was actually partly why their relationship didn't work out. And he this is a realization he makes in the first book, that he actually likes Jo because she constantly gets him into trouble. Yeah. And somehow that works better for him. Though in this one, he gets her into quite a bit of trouble. So. And I put in an American style pizzeria in this one as well, which are everywhere over here. New York pizza. This is the name of multiple places that you walking down. I'm in Glasgow right now, and it's New York pizza, Philadelphia pizza. They have this whole American pizza theme over here. You walk in, big pictures of the Empire State Building. It's really funny.
I mean, we kind of crush it with pizza, right? We have come up with the ultimate food.
Yes, that's true. What did she say? I'm with Jo on what?
I'm wanting pizza over cake.
Pizza over cake, yeah. Who doesn't want pizza? I actually had pizza. It was the only place still open after my Manchester event. I was starving. It's 9:00 at night. You don't know this, but all the bars close at midnight here. So food stops being made at 8. And so it's 9:00, and the only place that had food was a pizza place. And myself and I'm getting yelled at by my next door neighbors. They're beating on the wall because I'm too loud. Sorry. It was a pizza place, and we ended up ordering and eating 3 full-size pizzas.
Oh my gosh. It is the ultimate snack. Okay, I have one question before we go, and that is we talked a lot before the show started about your narrator for the audiobook, because everyone knows I'm the audiobook guy. That's how I consume. And she was fantastic. And we talked about the pronunciation of accents and names and stuff like that. And I feel like she hit the names really hard in this book. Like every time she said Roland Foley, it was like presenting it. She didn't just say names; she presented names. James MacAdams, like is that just her? Is that just her style, or is that?
I think so. Yeah. Sorry, I'm whispering now, so I don't get in trouble. I think so, and she's quite well known for doing characters. I really liked her work. I did not think that Gwillem sounded the way I heard him in my brain, but everyone else I thought she did a really nice job on.
It was fun. The accents were thick in this one because she's native. She knows the accents.
She does. She nailed Green. Green was exactly how I hear her in my head.
There we go. All right. So with that, we will thank Brandy for a wonderful book, a wonderful mystery that we won't spoil because who is it? Leanne still needs to read it. So but it is, if you haven't read it yet, it is fantastic. Twists and turns, another great adventure for Joe Jones and for MacAdams and Green, for the whole gang to go on. So,
and Green gets her own POV for a small bit in the book too. So
there you go, a little bit more for Green to do. So, thank you, and Brandy,
thank you for joining us at a place where, if you're weird, you're family.
You got the blue bottle blues when you wake up in the night. Don't make a big mistake, 'cause you can never make it right. When you reach out for the vial, feel the ridges in the glass. It's a matter of survival, baby, better watch your back. There is no antidote. There is no antidote. There is no antidote.